How's it going, everybody? This is Top Travel. Hope you're having another great day, and welcome back to another video. So obviously, it is very hard nowadays to try to find a job out of college, especially with the economy the way it is today. But it's especially harder when you're trying to find a job in your own major field because you've been working up all of your credentials. In fact, you've even done a couple of internships. However, for some apparent reason, you are really struggling just to find a job in your major field. And when you do finally get that job opportunity, it's in a field that's completely the opposite of what your degree stands for. But that's exactly what happened to me. And so it's definitely possible to do that. And I feel like that it's something that many people should consider. But is it something that you really should go for? Well, it's definitely something that I think you should definitely consider. And I'm going to talk a little bit about that in this video today. I'm going to share with you a few tips as to finding a job that is not in your major field, or especially if you're looking for a career change as well. Like, obviously you're trying to find a job and it's really hard to do that in your field. You can definitely use some of the credentials that you use from your major to try to find a job outside of that, especially like I did as well. So using my experience, I'm going to share with you a few ways that you can try to find a job in a field that is not related to your major. Getting your college degree and also getting a few internships to go along with that as well is definitely a major accomplishment for somebody to really add onto their resume. In fact, they've even volunteered a few times at their school's clubs that are related to their major as well, and really just gotten a whole bunch of experience to go along with that. But for some apparent reason, it just becomes very hard to be able to back that up by being able to find a job in your major field. Trust me, that's exactly the kind of experience that I went through. In fact, I had a couple of internships, as I mentioned before, in my field, which is communication and media, during my last year at King University. But for some reason, I just really couldn't back that up by being able to find a job in my industry as a result of that. Combine that with the fact, obviously, that the pandemic was still raging during that time, and I just really struggled to be able to find a job in my particular field. And so for some reason, I felt like that I had to go a couple of different ways and really start thinking about, finding a job in a different field. And well, that's exactly where the New Jersey Symphony came in. Of course, that was in marketing and also in the performing arts and classical music when I was trying to go for a job in TV and media and stuff like that. But I felt like that, if I'm not going to be able to get a job there, then at least try to find something that's at least related to some of the skills that I was able to develop, and maybe try to find something in another field elsewhere. And so obviously I went for stuff like in social media as well, maybe even marketing a little bit too, and ultimately I ended up with the New Jersey Symphony, where I currently work as a marketing coordinator as of this day. Trust me, this was not a field that I thought I would end up in, considering that I did my studies in another field. But hey, there is a large block of people in this world that have graduated from their college with a degree of their preferred field, but have managed to end up getting a job in a different field. Why? You know why? Because there are still a lot of skills that may be related to that field, even though it's not the field that they were intended to go into, that they were able to transfer from what they were able to do from their collegiate studies and their internships into that particular job as well. Trust me, I'm not the only one that's went through this. There is a large block of people here in this world that managed to get a job that was completely different in their field, but they were able to make the most of it, and they really enjoy it. In fact, there is a large percentage of people that are able to even do that, because the reason why I say that is because there is a good possibility that even though you end up getting a degree in your major, chances are your first job straight out of college is not going to be related to that major. In fact, you may not even end up getting a job in that major at all. You could end up going to another field that you didn't study for and to get a job there. And as long as you enjoy it, you can be there for potentially your entire career and realize, hey, maybe this is exactly what I should have been studying for after all. But just like every other job, it is not easy. So if you're thinking about making a career change, or if you feel like that you really need to change course and find another job in another field that really relates to the skills and studies that you were able to do at your college, I'm going to give you a few tips that can help you be able to accomplish that. And the very first one that you should do, and this is probably one of the most obvious ones is to really search and just see exactly what is out there. It is not easy, obviously, to find something that may be related to your skills, but it's not in your field. Like, for example, communication and media. Obviously, some of the skills that you had to learn was, for example, if you were trying to become a producer, writing scripts, obviously. Obviously, that could be one thing that you can transfer to another job. Like, for example, in public relations, where even if you're working for a producer, you can still do a lot of PR stuff because it's still very relatable to what you learned in college. You were able to, write down press releases and even, speak to the press because a lot of communication is involved. Also, you want to become an IT engineer. Obviously, you can probably learn something from computer science where you learn how to develop web apps or something like that. And maybe you could transfer a skill from there into engineering where you could possibly learn something over there. Or maybe, if you are good at, like managing social media or something like that, that's also a part of marketing too. You can maybe, take a skill from there and you can transfer that into a job somewhere in regards to digital marketing, because social media is a major part of that as well. And so yeah, just search around, see what's out there, because there are a lot more jobs that have a lot of skills that are related to your field that may not be in your major than you really think. And trust me, for me, marketing was definitely one of those jobs. And so really just take a look and see exactly what is out there, because you'll never know what you might be able to find. The second one is to speak to those that are in that particular field, what they have been able to learn from working in that particular field, and how you can manage to translate your skills into that particular field as well. Trust me, networking is a major skill that you need to have. Obviously, that was not what I did. Obviously, I had to have the help of best buddies to be able to help me with finding my job at New Jersey Symphony, so I didn't really have much of a big network to be able to, reach out to those that were in a particular field that I'm working in now to help me out with, learning a little bit about that. But hey, that's definitely something that you should definitely do. If you want to get a job in a field that's not in your major or in your major, heck, any job at all, it's very important that you're reaching out to those that actually work in that particular field. Whether it is in marketing or even in communications, engineering, or maybe even, construction work, or maybe in something just in administration or something like that. Whatever major that you're studying for and whatever field that you're working to get a job in or make a career change in, it's very important that you speak to those that work in that field. Those that have even made a career change for themselves, because they have a lot of knowledge in regards to what they went through and some of their experiences. And they can use some of theirs to be able to give you that particular knowledge that you may need to be able to hone in those skills to be able to land a job in that particular field. So it's really important to network, speak to those that work in that particular field, because without that help, you are going to have a much harder time with being able to land a job. I mean, trust me, you can still land a job without a whole bunch of referrals or networking like I was able to do. I didn't have much of a network when I got my job in marketing, but still, if you really want to really stand out against everybody else, you really need to speak to those that work in there, because chances are those people will be more than happy to help you. The next thing, as I mentioned before, it is skills. Trust me, there are a lot of skills that you have in your particular field that you can carry over into another job. I mean, trust me, those skills are going to be very important no matter what position that you end up in. The reason why I say that is because sometimes even if you have that experience, chances are you're not going to be able to get a job ahead of time if you don't have the necessary requirements needed to be able to land a job. And so it's really important that you use those skills to relate to what you were able to do in your particular field, and then also translate that into that particular field and what you can do in that new field if you are able to land a job in. Trust me, as I said before, one of the things that I was able to learn when I was studying in my field in media is obviously just writing a script. Obviously, there were a couple of times where I had to write a script for, a TV production project that I had to do. Hey, that's relatable to writing emails as well, and that's really one of the things that you can really use in that one. You can use your script writing skills to write emails for, a particular company, like I do at the New Jersey Symphony. You can just write down, the necessary information about what's upcoming, and, just use that to your advantage. And also, just managing, pages, like I said before, when I was with the Phi Theta Kappa Psi chapter, when I was in community college, one of the things that I did was manage the social media accounts, the Facebook and the Twitter accounts, and really not necessarily much of Instagram, because at the time there wasn't really much of a desktop feature, so it was socials, mainly just Facebook and Twitter, and also YouTube, just so that way I can publish all the weekly updates. It's basically the same thing in regards to web publishing as well. Obviously creating web pages and, just writing down info for those particular pages. I was able to transfer those skills over to making web pages and also updating web pages for my organization's website as well. So trust me, those skills, even though you're trying to use it for one field, they can definitely be useful to other fields as well. But you really need to show that you have been able to use those skills in that particular field that you are going for to be able to convince hiring managers that you are able to use those same exact skills in this job, in this different field. And trust me, it's not very easy. So that's why it's important to have those experiences and those prior internships, so that way you can be able to relate with those skills that you had and those experiences in the job that you are going for. So it's always important to really try to hone in those skills that you learn from your field and see if there's something out there that you can use those skills for that particular field if you're going for a job in a different field compared to what you are going for. Finally, the most important thing to be able to find a job in a different field or making a career change in general is to just stay humble. Just be prepared for what comes in your way, because trust me, making a career change or finding a job in general, even if it's not in your major field, it is not easy. In fact, it is a lot harder nowadays to be able to find something in your particular field than it was before then, especially with the way the job market works like right now. As I said before, a large block of people that graduate from college, they're most likely going to get a job in a professional field that is not related to the field that they study for. And so, trust me, they have been able to find a lot of success in that particular field because, as I said before, they utilized those skills that they had from the field that they were studying for, and they were able to transfer it over there. And a whole bunch of networking as well that has been able to get them to where they are at now. So yeah, trust me, it can be very, very hard. And sometimes, just trying to find a job in your field, it can cause a lot of stress, and really, it can bring you down whenever you get so close to getting that job opportunity that you want, and just for some apparent reason, you are not able to get it. And trust me, it's very hard. There's a lot of people like me that have gone through so many rejections from going for a job for a field in their choice, but were able to finally land a job, even if it was not in their particular field, like the one I ended up getting. Trust me, there's always a chance that as long as you're able to convince those people that you are able to use what you learn, even if it's not in the field that you are going for that particular field, hey, they're gonna give you a shot. So yeah, you just gotta try your hardest and just, be confident with your search. Know exactly what you're doing and make sure that you have everything you need prepared to make that career change or find that job in a different field, like in marketing or some other field like engineering or administration in general. Because even though it's not a job that you're working for, still, there are a lot of things about that job that may be relatable to the field that you're studying for. So, as long as you at least stay humble and confident and you're able to do everything right, trust me, making a transition into a new field, it will be so much easier for you in the long run. I know that it's something that not a lot of people would rather go through, because obviously getting a job in your particular field that you study for would be your dream job. That is something that we all work hard for. However, sometimes you can definitely find a whole lot of success in another field, especially since there are a whole lot of things in that field that are still relatable to the major that you study for. Trust me, it's not easy to find a job in general, but sometimes you have to be willing to break the mold and make that crossover into a different field with what you're learned, so that way you can be able to succeed. That's exactly what I did, and trust me, there are a whole lot of other people in this world that can tell you how they did the same thing as well and were successful in doing so. So as long as you do exactly what I talked about here today, trust me, it will be a lot easier for you to be able to make that career change and go into a completely different field with everything that you have learned from studying in your particular major into the new one that you're going into. It may not be easy, but as long as you're doing that, you'll be able to find a lot of success in your new field. And trust me, you will live a very happy life and make a pretty good wage in doing so. Alright, that's going to do it for this video. I just felt like this would be something interesting that I'd like to talk about because, as I said before, there are so many people in this world that were studying for a field that they wanted to go into, but still managed to find success in an industry that is not related to their particular field. So, just like me, I would really like to hear from you. Are you among that block of people that got a job in a field completely different than their major? And more importantly, how was that transition? And if it was successful, successful? What did you learn from that? Feel free to let me know down in the comments below. I'll be more interested in hearing how it all went down. Anyways, that's going to do it for this video. I hope you all enjoyed it. As always, if you'd like to see more of my content, be sure to subscribe, hit the notification bell so you know when my latest video is released. Comment below for future suggestions for all my videos, whether it's blogs, projects, or challenges, you name it. Leave it in the comments below and I'll do my best to make them. As always, follow me on my social media. All the links are in the description below. That's going to do it for this video. I hope you're having another great day. As always, I hope to see all of you again in another video very soon. So long, everybody.